Hello and welcome to my next tutorial. Today we're going to make someone to drive that UFO we made in the last tutorial. That's right, we're making the Toy Story alien. Check him out. Yep, pretty cool. Actually, I have a student to thank for this. I saw a student by the name of Trini making one of these and I thought, you know what? That would be a great tutorial, and he sent it to me when he was done and I thought, yeah. This is pretty cool. I'm going to make a tutorial just to show people what's going on. Now, we're going to do things a little bit different today because most of you can see the shapes. If you've been doing any of my work for a while, you can see the shapes here and you're going to be thinking, hey, you know what? I think I can handle most of these things. So on the descriptions for this video, I'm going to put a timer link so that you can click on the parts that I think are hard for most people. And those are going to be at least three places. One, the legs, and I'll explain that in a little bit. The ears are hard. In fact, the ears took me personally about at least 20 minutes, and I'm still not happy with them. The other hard part was the pizza, not because of the design, but because it curves. You see how it curves? Now, some of you may remember how I did it last time when I asked you guys to curve something in another video. This one, I'll put a link in the description so you can see how to get to just that, the curving part. And the antenna, by the way, I printed one of these, as you can see. That's the first thing that's going to break. So if you want to make this thicker, that's going to be up to you. So let's get started. Let's make this alien because he's so cute. Anyways, let's move on. We're going to start at the bottom and work our way up. We're going to start off with the shoes, and it's going to be a half sphere. The dimensions, I honestly don't remember, so I'm just going to drag it. And let's make it 30 by 30. Why not? Actually, no, I don't really want it to be a square, do I? I'm sorry, not a square. A perfect circle. I don't. I actually want it to be, like a shoe. So let's make that 20 by 30. And does that look big enough? Sure, I'm just going to rotate it. Let's say, I don't know, let's look at the degrees here. And 45 seems a little bit much. Let's go with 67.5. All right, so we have a foot. We're almost there, people, almost there. So we have the foot. Usually we make the entire leg and then we duplicate it to get the other side. Okay, I'm not sure I want to do it this time. Here's what we're going to do. Let me show you the picture that I'm working from, okay? That way you'll understand what I'm talking about. There is no shape in Tinkercad that can create this right here, this part of the leg. Usually what I do for a leg that's, a little bent, I'll just use one of these paraboloids and rotate it. Right? Call it a day. We're good. It gets bigger as it goes up, but it honestly doesn't look good here. This one for this one, I tried it. I tried doing this to get that look, and it was okay, but with the belly above it, it kind of didn't look the way I wanted to. In fact, let me just show you. Let me create the belly now. 27 and 40. So let's do that. I'm going to get this, make it 40 down here. 27 right there. And, I didn't get the height. What is the height? 34. 34. Okay. So that, the sides. Let's change the color. It's going to be one of these, that color right there. And that is right there. Yeah, that looks about right. So I'm going to make this go up. And let me show you what I'm talking about. So right about there, we have this. I'm checking the sides because I don't want it to be moving too forward because this thing will fall down if it's not balanced very well. Okay. So you notice in my model, there's a gradual increase and then it connects to the body. This one right here, let me change this to blue so you can see it. It goes up and then the belly comes out. Doesn't look as good, but this is what I would do usually. Let me show you what we're going to do here. I'm going to keep this here so I can just, take note of it. And please pay attention to this part. This part is confusing if you do not do it correctly. So I'm going to put this ball right there. I'm going to excuse me, I'm going to stretch it out just a little bit because I do want to cover most of the foot. And I'm going to move it back a little bit. Okay. What I'm looking for here is to be just behind the belly and way behind the shoe. Okay, that's good. Now the measurement, what do I have here? 22. Let's just make that 22 to make it exactly in 20. Okay, 22 and 20. I'm going to change the color to blue or a darker blue. Please pay attention to this part. This is the part that's going to make it look cool or not cool. I'm going to hit duplicate right here. Mind you, I have this ball selector, the sphere. Now, I'm going to change this right here to 0.5. Mind you, this is still selected. I'm going to move this up 0.5. And then I'm going to hit Shift and click this so it moves up 0.5. You see that? It went from 20 to 20.5. And then with my arrow key, mind you, the arrow key is on my keyboard. I'm going to click the left arrow so it moves over to the left a little bit. So this one, and then the arrow key to the left. Mind you, I haven't done anything else, but what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hit Control and the letter D, or you can press this one over and over again to get the look I'm going for. So here it is. I'm going to click this one. So it's creating a little bit of a bump, if you will, that you can then, let's see if I can zoom out a little bit. See how it's starting to look more like his belly, like they're attached, like they're connected to each other. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to select both of these. I don't think that, okay, so when I say both of these, I mean all of the circles, all the spheres, and the foot. By the way, let's just change the foot color because there you go. That looks better. So I'm selecting all of these. In fact, yeah, I selected that one. I'm going to hit Shift. I'm holding the Shift button. And now I have all this. That it deselected this one. I'm going to duplicate this. So there you go. Click that one. And then I'm going to hit the mirror button. That one has appeared. I'm going to hit and hold the Shift button and use the arrow key. There we go. Now there is a gradual increase for his belly. Now, mind you, we had to use a lot of shapes to get here, but it looks a lot better than what we had before. Now, honestly, I think this might be a little too big, so I'm just going to increase the belly by a little bit. Let's make this, let's see what 28 looks like. I like it. I like it. But I'm not sure if you noticed this. It's not centered. There you go. Now it's centered. Now I avoided using the what do you call it? What's this one called? I forgot. The align tool. I know, I'm getting old. I avoided using the align tool because I like the way these legs look, and if I use the align tool, they're going to change the directions, and I don't want to change anything here. This is good the way it is. All right, so we're there. We have the belly. Let's create the belt. Let's go ahead and do that. The belt's going to be a, what do we call this? A tube. And here's what the shape's going to be. Let's make it 40 by 30. Let's see if that works. First of all, let's change the sides because this looks horrible. 40 and 30. And this needs to be thinner. So let's see what thickness did I use here. Let's just say 5 for now. 5. We can adjust it later if we like. And this is way too thick. But you know what? I think I'm going to keep it that way. All right, I'm going to move this up there. No, it's not centered. Here's what I'm going to do. Pay attention to this part, please. I'm going to click on this one. That's the belly. And I'm going to hold the Shift button. Click that one. Now I'm going to use the align tool. Sorry, I deselected them. The letter L. I clicked on the letter L. And I'm going to make sure that this one doesn't move by clicking on it. Aligned and aligned. We now have the belt. However, I'm not liking how this looks right here. So I'm going to fix that after this. Let's go ahead and look at this. Yeah, the front and the back look good. I do not like the sides. So let's look at what we have here in terms of numbers. We have 40. Let's make it 41 and let's see what happens there. Again, I'm going to align, click the letter L. I want this one not to move, so I'm going to click on it. Then center. Ooh, I like that. But not enough to keep it. So I'm going to do it again. I'm going to change this to 42. And the reason I'm letting you guys see my process is because when you're making something, you should be checking. Oh, did you guys notice that? You see what happened? The belly moved. I forgot to click on it. So I'm going to select again the belt, select the belly, click the letter L. I'm going to click the belly again to make sure it doesn't move, and then the belt moves. Now I'm liking this. I'm liking this a lot. All right. So I do want you to see the process because that's what I did. Okay. I had to figure out the process, and that's how you get these things. Now, earlier I said I did not like the way it looks because, I don't know, I wanted to be like more straight. This one curves inward. I don't like that. So what I'm going to do, again, I'm experimenting at this point. I'm going to, let me duplicate this one. Control D or this button there. And I'm going to rotate it. Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to make it go down. I like that better. Yeah, I like that better. Less here, that's fine. I'm good with that. All right, so we have the lower body. The upper body, we're okay so far, but let's go with the arms. Okay, the arms are just going to be the tool inside of the shape generators. It's going to be the pipe. If you've seen me do characters before, we use the pipe a lot for the arms. They just look cool. I'm going to like fill that in right there. The wall thickness, I think 10 should be enough. Yep, 10. So we're good with that. I'm going to change the color to the blue. There we go. And let's focus on this right here. Let's see. I want this to go up and then this way. So actually, no, let's just go up. And I need to shrink this, obviously, right? This is way too much. Okay, and then I'm going to rotate. To see this, I need to rotate it this way. And I'm not sure if you noticed, but that thing is huge. I'm going to make it smaller. I'm going to hit the I'm going to hold Shift. I'm going to hold the Shift button while I do this. That way it stays uniform. Okay. I think it's too thin. I need to make it a little bit thicker. So I'm going to hold the Shift button. Okay, because I've had a lot of students ask me like, Mr. Amparo, it's not working when I hit Shift. Well, you have to hold the Shift. Okay. Now, let me show you the picture again. Let me show you something that I've changed from the picture. The picture shows the arms going out towards something, like right in front of you, like it's about to hug someone or something. I made the arms go up like it's like looking up towards their master or their god or something. The reason I did it is because I don't want any supports for this Toy Story alien. I just wanted to print with no supports because I honestly don't like supports. So here we are. I'm going to rotate this up. All right. If you notice, this one is closer to the body, so I am going to move it closer to the body. And maybe a little bit higher. All right. Now the arm. There it is. And I'm not sure if you can see this, but they're just circles or spheres. So let's just do that. I'm going to change it to green. Well, first of all, I need to get rid of this or add so many more sides, a lot more sides. And I'm going to make it, mind you, I didn't change anything else, so I'm just keeping it down. 10. Sure, let's just say 10 for right now. I'm going to change all the dimensions later. I just want to make the general size. So I'm going to duplicate this, Control D, and then maybe shrink it down a little bit. And it's hard to see this, so let's move it out of the way. And move it up. Oops, I have them both selected. Let me undo whatever changes I made there. I want this one to be 20 by, sure, let's say 7 for right now. And let's duplicate and move it over, duplicate, and it goes over automatically. Oops, I accidentally made it bigger. Okay, now they are very separated inside the models. So let's zoom in here. And all I'm going to do is make them separate. I don't want them touching each other because the aliens don't have them touching each other when they're, on their hands. So that's fine. Let's look at it from the side. Whoa, that looks kind of weird. That's better. So I went from 10 to about 8. All right, that's not bad. And I think I might change this later, but for right now, let me make sure they're all touching the ground. I'm going to select each one of these and click the letter D just to make sure that they're not passing the work plane. All right, we're fine here. I will adjust them later. right now, I just wanted to get a good idea of what I needed to do. All right. Mind you, when I put this on here, it should be pretty big. And that's okay. Let's take a look at where it is. Okay, that's not bad. I'm going to rotate this 90 degrees so I can see it. Whoa, look at that. It looks like it's wearing one of those fake hands that you have at a baseball game. It says we're number one. Yeah, not exactly the right size. All right, I'm going to focus by clicking the letter F. It focuses on just the part I want to work on. All right, so hands up. It looks like it's being arrested. Not cool. So let me move it forward a little bit. And then I'm going to use the arrow keys to move them all. And then I'll move it to the left a little bit right there. Now, mind you, when I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, is this going to print without fail, or is it going to need supports in any way? And so far, this is going to print this layer, this layer, this layer, this layer. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be good. Let me check the dimensions because it kind of looks huge. Yeah, I need to make this smaller. I'm going to hit and hold the shift button. And I can always change this later, but right now it's okay. It's okay. So I'm going to move the whole body over a little bit, just me, because I want some space over here. And I want the arm to be closer still. I know. And then I'm going to rotate this one just a little bit. And then this way. Now, if you want the hands to be another way, that is completely fine because, hey, this is going to be your model, but you have to be aware how it looks from a distance, not just close up. That way you have a better idea of what you're going to get when you're finished printing this stuff. All right, so I think we're okay here. I don't know, I may adjust it later, but right now let's go ahead and duplicate this. Control D, then we're going to mirror it so it points in this direction. I'm going to hit Shift and then the arrow key so I can get to the other side. All right, not bad. Now the ring, pretty easy, right? I'm going to change that to, well, let's change the sides, obviously. And then purple. I'm just going to stretch it out. I'm going to change the radius to, actually, let's change the tube to 1. And then it's kind of flat, so let me make it a little bit higher. 3 is not bad. 4 or 3.5 is good. Now, mind you, I'm going to change this anyways because it changes once you put it over the head. I think it's too big right now, so I'm going to shrink it a little bit. I'm going to hit Shift. Actually, no, I'm not going to hit Shift. I'm just going to let it shrink on its own right here. Now let's take a look. No, right now it's not touching anything. That is not good, by the way, because you want it to be touching something. Otherwise, when it prints, it'll be printing in midair. All right, so that one was touching, where it's good. Let me move this part higher so that it's touching that part. And it's not yet, so I'm going to move it higher. And I think we're good with that. That should be fine. Yeah, touching a lot there. All right, we're good there. Whew. Let's change this belt. Let's go ahead and put that as dark blue. My bad. The belt buckle, I forgot that one. So let me go to, let's see, what did I put? Curved. I think that's the key word for this one. And what I'm looking for is this one right here. Rounded cubed. Rounded cube. Change that to dark blue. And I'm going to move it up. I don't know what the dimensions are, but I'm just going to try to make it just slightly bigger than the belt. And make sure that it is rectangle. All right, that's not bad. I think we're good. By the way, my dimensions were 17.5 and 12, and the height of 7. All right, we're good. So now, let's go ahead and make the head. I don't even know what dimensions I use. 27, let's just make that 28 by 41. 28 by 41? Sure. It's going to be a sphere. So 41. And I totally forgot. I think it's 28. Let's see what it says here. Yeah, 28 is not bad. What's the height? Let's say 25. 25. All right. And the sides have to be maximized so it's as smooth as possible. And there we go. We have the head. Let's move it straight up, I hope. Did I click on the... There it is. Now the head. Oh, now it looks very alien-like. Yes, you can see it, right? You can tell where we're going with this. Okay, so what do we work with next? Let's work with the mouth. Now let's do the eyeball. So the eyeball. Here it is. You guys knew it was going to be a sphere, right? Pretty easy. White. I don't know what the dimensions are, but ooh, is it all attached? It is. Oh, no, it's not. So 10 by 10. 10 by 10 and 10. Something's off. Yeah, 10 right there. And that one's off. 10. And this one should be, it doesn't look, I'm not sure if you guys can tell, but it does not look like a sphere to me. So I'm going to click on this and, oh, it's so hard to see. Yeah, now it looks like a sphere. Now it looks like it's gone. All right, so for the eyeball, I'm going to move the arrow key right there, and not hard at all. The only part that was hard, I'm going to move this up with the arrow keys, was the eyelid, but I got it to work. That looks weird. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to select the head, and I'm going to shift and hold the shift button, and I'm going to align this so it can be in the center. I don't want the head to move, so I'm going to click on the head, center right there, and we're good. Something looks weird though. Doesn't it look weird? Like something's off. Let me go up a little bit more. Now, whenever you're designing something, you have to be asking yourself, how does this look? Does it look normal? Again, I'm going to check all the dimensions. It says 10 by 10 by 10. Maybe it's just me. I think I might be off. All right. The eyeball is going to be the exact same thing. Wait, is this thing 41? Let's make it 40. That didn't do anything, so I'm going to undo it. Okay, anyways, let's just move on with our lives. Notice how this part's covering. Is there something going on here? Am I being... It looks like an egg, doesn't it? Am I doing something wrong? Let me rotate it. Let's see what happens when I rotate. It does look like an egg. That's it. I'm doing this from scratch again. This, check it out. What I'm going to do. I'm going to change this to 1. Okay, right there. And I'm going to hit shift. I'm just going to go, I'm going to hold the shift button and I'm going to go till it says 10. Okay, everything is 10 now. I'm going to make it white and let's see if we can see the difference here. Because I have a feeling we're going to see the difference. Oh yes, that looks a lot better. Something was wrong with that previous one. I don't know what. I'll look at it later. Okay, so let's align it. I'm going to hit shift and hold. Now both of these are selected. Click the letter L. Make sure the head doesn't move by clicking on the head. Aligned. Okay, we're good. I'm going to duplicate this and I'm going to make an eyeball. How? By hitting and holding the shift button. Moving it up. Moving it forward. I'm going to make it black. Now, mind you, the size of the eyeball is important because it will look weird at different sizes. So again, I'm going to make this, let's see, I'm going to try for 3 is not bad. Yeah, 3 is not bad. The eyeball was 10 by 10 by 10. This is going to be 3 by 3 by 3, and it's up. Okay, that's the important part. It's up. Now, the eyelid. How do we make the eyelid? Well, let's look at this one right here. Okay, I used a torus, which is what I call a donut, and then that thing right there. So let's do this. I'm going to make this 10 by 10 by 10. I'm going to hit shift. Actually, just 10 by 10. This looks way smaller. I think I might be doing this wrong. But this part right here, the tube has to be like super small. That's smaller than that. Let's make that 0.5. That's better. Okay. Wow. It looks like he has an eye ring. Ouch. That's gotta hurt. Okay, I'm going to put that right there. Whoa, I'll move it over too much. Let me change the snap grid settings to 0.1 so the movement is smaller. Click the letter F so I can focus. I think this thing is staring at me. So I'm going to click the letter green. The letter green. Did I just say the letter green? the color green. Now I need something to cover this part up, and the half sphere will do just fine. I'm going to change to the color green, and this has to be like 10 by 10 by 10, but let's make it 11 by 11 by 11. And let's do it this way. Nope, this one. 11. I don't think that's accurate. Something's going on here. I don't trust my eyes anymore. Whoa, my one eye. All right. Yeah, how is that? Yeah, this does not make sense. So I'm just going to, that looks funny. I'm going to hit the shift button, move it down. Shift button and move it down, move it up a little bit. All right, shift and move it down. I think we're good. Oh, it's not centered. That looks about right. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna rotate this thing. And I think, there you go. That looks good. It was 67.5. That looks like an eyelid. So I think we're good there. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna group these four objects. The eyeball, I'm gonna hit shift. The pupil, the rim of the eyelid, and the eyelid, I'm gonna group them. I'm gonna hit Control G. They're gonna change to one weird color. I'm gonna click on the color and then multicolor. Now I'm gonna duplicate this one and move it over here. And then I'm gonna duplicate again and then move it over here. Now let me bring back the original picture. Here we go. The eyes are slightly down and curved a little bit, down and turned a little bit. So that's what I'm gonna do with these right here. It's gonna go down, so we say 1 millimeter. And this one's hard to tell where the millimeter is. So I'm gonna do it again. That way I can see the number. There it is. All right, so now I'm gonna rotate this. Let's see, what would be a good number? Let's say 15. Ooh, went past 15 there. All right, so we're good there. All right, now let's focus on the mouth. The mouth, by the way, scary thing. I'm grabbing a torus, that donut shape, and I'm going to stretch it out, let's say 20. No, 40. Sorry, I was looking back here. Let's say 40 or 50. And then the tube is going to be 0.5, I think. Yeah, let's do that. I'm going to make this transparent. And this is what I did for the mouth. Let's zoom in here because this is what I want you to see when you're making the mouth. Oh, yeah, I can't do the mouth that way. So I need to get rid of this back part of the donut torus thing. So let me move this forward. I'm going to get a cube, go up, and I'm going to try to get rid of this part right here. Actually, more than that. Okay, I'm going to get rid of these two right here. I'm going to group them. So now I have this part. That's going to be part of the smile. I'm going to make it a hole. Now I'm going to bring it over here. Let me focus right there. So I'm going to move it over this way. I'm trying to center it. Now, a little tiny opening is there, right? A little tiny one. So I'm going to move the arrow key. I don't want to move this a lot. In fact, I'm going to turn it off so that the movement is super, super small. Let me show you what it looks like when you group it. I'm going to hit, it's already selected this one, so I'm going to hold the shift button and then group. Okay, that's not bad. Now, if you wanted to go deeper, that's fine. I'm okay with this, but this is the best solution I have for this. All right, so we're pretty close to the 30-minute mark if we're not already there. Actually, I'm going to change this because I want it to be a deeper mouth. So I'm going to move with the arrow key back some. Now, I'm not sure if you guys noticed that, but when I went too far, it started going down. That's because the tube is now going inside this shape right here, and I don't want that. So I can do this. I can move it up. Okay, now let's try. I'm going to hit shift, hold the shift button, and then group. That is better. Better. All right. So, yeah. So now, if you want to change it, that's up to you. That's your choice. I did not use the paraboloid for the antenna because I did not like the way it was looking. It was like this, and then it would have a solid thing going up. It did not look smooth. So here's what I used for the antenna. Shape generator, and then I went to this top corner, hyperboloid. I'm going to go move this up. Wait, let's maximize the size because we want it to look smooth. I'm going to go straight up. Whoop. Yes, that's perfect. And whoa, that's huge. So I'm going to hit shift. Right now it's at 20. So let's see. I go down. Let's say 10 for right now. And I know this is going to be bigger than what it looks like in the cartoon or whatever you see in the picture. The reason I'm saying 10 is because I don't want this to break off. I really don't. So I'm going to get rid of that top part by getting rid of it with a hole, cube. And that should be fine right there. So I'm going to select both of these. I'm going to see if I can get in there. Yep. Shift, hold both of these and group. That goes away. And now I'm just going to need a cylinder. There it is. Maximize the sides. Don't forget. I'm going to just try to make this. What? Oh, let's go back over here. What did I miss? Anybody see what I didn't move this back enough. So I'm going to move this back. Come on. Right there. Now it should work. Shift here and then group. All right. By the way, the cylinder, I'm just making it really tall and then I'm going to shrink it. Why? Because then I don't have to do that later. Let's move this up. Let's try to get it so it's touching. There you go. I'm going to hit shift and hold it down because it lets me keep it a perfect sphere. And let's zoom in on this. Click the letter F. And let's see what we get here. Right there. Let me change the angle so I can see this better. And I'm going to use the arrow key to move this over. And making slight movements. That is actually not bad. Did I nail it? The thing is, this part doesn't tell you how big it is. Oh no, I got to move it back a little bit. So you have to like look at it and see what kind of transition it is. I honestly do not like how thin or how thick it is. But man, does it feel bad when you break it? It totally does. Trust me on this. It feels bad. I'm just going to shrink this a little bit. And I'm going to put a little bit of a sphere up there. I guess we should change this to green. Now, if you want it to be thinner, up to you. You don't forget you got to change the base, but up to you. I'm going to let you do that. I'm going to try to put this in the center. Let's try to align these three things. And the head, by the way. Do you see how I connected the head too? Now I'm going to click the L tool. Make sure, I don't want the head to move, but let's align it this way. And let's align it from the side too. So I'm going to go over here. There it is. They are now aligned. Okay. It looks so funny. It looks like broccoli or something. Okay. Which I'm pretty sure is alien to a lot of you. I'm going to hit shift. I'm going to hold the shift button and then move that down. And now I'm going to inspect this. Again, I'm making this bigger than it has to be just because I don't want it to break. But if you want it smaller, that's fine with you. No supports should be needed for this design. But for the purist here, I'm going to make it just a little bit smaller so you guys don't cry. Up to you how you want to keep that. Fine. Okay, let's move on to the ears. Now, I told you the ears, I hated doing this because I did all the work and it didn't come out very good. So right before recording this, I tried one more method and I liked it. So I'm going to use the donut. I'm going to include all the sides here. 20 by, let's make it 10 by 30. All right. And the height, 5 is fine for right now. 5 is fine. All right. So let's, I'm going to drag this over here so we can see it better. Actually, no, I don't like the height of 5. Let's make it 2.5. Okay, I feel better about that. I'm going to duplicate it, and then I'm going to rotate it slightly. Because my goal is to make a triangle-ish shape. Okay, there it is. And then I'm going to duplicate that one. And then I'm going to rotate it 90. And without holding the shift button, I'm just going to try to reshape this. I'm trying to make a little bit of a triangle. I'm going to move this a little bit more here. All right, so there's that right there. And then I think we're good. Okay, but I need to fill this in. So let me go ahead and bring the sphere over. And I'm not holding shift. I'm just, moving the shapes around. I like this a lot. So now I'm going to rotate this a little and duplicate it and then move it up. Oh, I got the wrong one. All right, so I'm not sure if you noticed, but it is not perfect. You guys see that right there? Not perfect. And this weird thing is sticking out here. I don't like that. I'm going to move this so that it looks better here and then move it out. Okay, ear-like, right? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to group this thing, and let's make it green. Now here's the part that makes it a little more like an ear. I'm going to duplicate this. There it is. I'm going to make it a hole, and I'm also going to shrink it just a little bit. All right, so you see it's a little bit floating out, a little bit touching here. I'm going to rotate this a little bit because I'm not sure in the original picture if you can see it, but it's really curved up here and not as curved down there. Okay. Now, if yours doesn't come out perfect, like there's still little bits and pieces that are kind of jagged or grouped or whatever, the ear is not perfect. The alien ear is not perfect in the original drawing. I'm grouping these two now. And here, see, there's little shapes here in the ear. It looks kind of weird, but if you look at it from the side, hey, you're like, this is kind of like an ear, but weirder. It's kind of like what I like to call eerie. That's right. We have dad jokes here. So let's rotate this. It's in 90 degrees, so it's facing up. And we're going to rotate this another 90 so that it's facing that way. And I don't like the way it looks here, so I'm going to rotate it this way. All right, we're good. We're going to move this up and see how it looks on the alien's head. And let's move. Whoa, that thing is huge. Whoa. And that's okay, because we can fix it. We are in Tinkercad. I'm going to hit shift and I'm going to move this down. And then I'm going to move it so it's sticking out a little bit. Let me get rid of that right there. Oh, it needs to go forward some. And here's my goal. I want to consider how this is going to print, right? And I don't want anything sticking out that will eventually fail when it's printing. So I'm going to move it a little bit out, a little bit at a time, so I know it's not going to fail. Look at this carefully. Right now it's going to print the bottom part, print. Not an issue so far. But the ear's kind of swallowed up over here, so I need to rotate it just a little bit. And then I'm going to move the arrow key. All right, I'm afraid of this part right here. This is the part I'm not happy with. So I'm going to rotate that a little bit back. Okay, and then I'm going to move it. All right, so now when it's printing, it'll print the bottom layer, this part. Okay, I think this is good. Let's focus here, but the size is too much. I'm going to move it down a little bit. But man, this thing is huge. Sorry, man. It just looks bad. Okay, that's better. All right. Now this one, I think the ear has to be at least sticking out slightly. So we may have to change. I'm just going to move it. And then let me check it to make sure it's going to actually print without any supports. Let me focus on this right here and then. Okay, that part may not print correctly, but just that part. And you know what? If this part fails, I can always just take it off after the print, and I'm fine with that. Okay, so I'm going to duplicate this. Then I'm going to mirror it. I'm going to go that way. I'm going to hit shift. And then, whoa, that is super slow. So I'm just going to drag it over here and hit the shift. That way it doesn't move. And there we go. And you know what I'm going to do? Since we're basically done with this thing, and all we have left is the pizza, I'm going to make the pizza the part 2 of this video. And that way you can take a breath because it's already over 30 minutes. And I don't want you guys to start, I don't want your heads to start exploding. Okay, but if you are listening to it this far, go ahead and raise your hand and say, Mr. Amparo, my head's about to explode. I really would appreciate that. I think your teachers would too if they're listening too. All right, so let's see. I might adjust this. I don't know. Up to you. Kind of the pants look like they're sagging a little bit. All right, so here we are. We're good. I'll see you in the next video for the pizza. Pizza's good.